Hey everybody, CrimsonCasts here, your favorite ARPG speedrunner and speedrun commentator, and I'm going to be returning to Diablo 4 for the first time in a while as my content creation home with the release of Lord of Hatred. However, I'm not the only one doing so, and so I reached out to a bunch of other ARPG content creators, people who made their long-term homes in Diablo 4, people who are coming back, people who never left, and people who are seeing it with fresh eyes. And so, with that, I wanted to get a sense of what people's expectations were the day before, as well as what their impressions were the day after, and their reviews were a week after, once they've been able to try the new endgame content systems. And so with that, I've reached out to a ton of different people representing different perspectives and trying different classes and interested in different Diablo 4 content to give you guys the opportunity to see what the temperature is on our side of the camera, as well as to give you guys the venue in the comments to share what your expectations are. We'll be checking back in a day or two after this, as well as a week or two after this, to capture those first impressions and long-term reviews, but I just wanted to get the temperature in the room before we saw the content at all. With that, the first ARPG content creator that you're going to be hearing from is a guy that I really enjoy watching, Barricade, who was one of my most watched Diablo 4 streamers in Season 6 and Season 7, as well as being one of the people who actually helped to take me away from the franchise and introduce me to Path of Exile 2, where he was the streamer that taught me a lot of the game's core systems and functionality. And with that, let's hear from Barricade.
Hey guys, so my name is Barricade, and I grew up living ARPGs. As a kid, full head of hair, right after high school, bam, I'm at home on the PC, and I'm playing Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction. I'm later in life getting back into that game because of Vicarious Visions, and I'm playing Diablo 2 Resurrected, which has changed my life forever. And so that being said, my knowledge in ARPGs spans from different titles. Like, I know a bunch of Diablo 2, Resurrected, Reign of the Warlock, Path of Exile 1 and 2, and a bunch of Diablo 4. I was actually playing Diablo consistently up until about season 8, playing Server Slam all the way up. I played a bunch of Barbarian. I played a tremendous amount of Sorceress, Spiritborn when it came out, and now I'm getting ready to enjoy the Warlock, which is the class I'm going to play when the league starts, and I'm really stoked for it. They're essentially changing the entire game. A lot of the stuff that I bitched and moaned about, Blizzard is actually adjusting in a way that I think is going to be better for the community at large and myself personally as well, if I can be a little bit greedy. So one of the mechanics I'm most looking forward to is actually the Herodric Cube. I love itemization in ARPGs. It's the reason we play things. It's why we kill stuff, is to get cool items, and now I can manipulate that in Diablo 4 in a way that I never could before. So extremely excited about that. And the cherry on top for me is grabbing that new Primeval Mephisto and just giving him short shots till he's toast. I can't wait to do that, and I'll tell you how I feel, I guess, after this. So thank you for including me in this, and good luck to everybody out there with your drops and your characters.
Thank you to Barricade for that, and if you're looking for a super energetic community and a streamer who's liable to break into dance at any time, if the drops are good enough, as well as looking for a community who are always sure to put people before pixels, I encourage you to spend time with Barricade on the launch. He, like all other ARPG content creators featured in this video, is going to have his socials linked in the description down below. Now we can pivot and hear from a close friend and longtime rival of mine, a longtime Diablo 4 speedrunning world record holder, WonderPuppy98.
Hey everybody, my name is WonderPuppy. My main experience with ARPGs has been pretty much all of them. I am an avid ARPG enjoyer, and my experience with D4, I've really enjoyed it as an ARPG, played it ever since the Server Slam, all the way up until the final season with the fresh meat. It has been a fun game to jump into for a little bit. My hype level for this expansion, I'd say, is about a 5 or a 6 in terms of hypeness, because I think it has a lot of good stuff coming. I'm hoping that it isn't broken. I'm hoping that it isn't like the Vessel of Hatred expansion where the launch went really bad. I'm hoping that the pre-download and a bunch of other stuff they've done have mitigated a lot of the issues that we experienced with Vessel of Hatred. So fingers crossed. But content I'm most excited to see in Lord of Hatred is all of it. We're getting class changes, we're getting crafting, we're getting endgame overhauls, we're getting leveling changes, we're getting everything. So I'm excited for it all because it's a fresh new game essentially. And we'll be starting with the Warlock. I think that class is the one that I haven't played yet. I enjoyed how they played in D2 with Reign of the Warlock, but I'm very excited to see what this expansion looks like. So let's hope it's good. Let's hope.
Thank you to Wonder Puppy for that. And if you're looking for the perspective of a super elite blaster, someone who's held world records in Diablo 4, as well as having a broad basis of comparison, having spent time in Last Epoch and Path of Exile and No Rest for the Wicked and Diablo 2 and many more, I encourage you to spend time with Wonder Puppy 98. You may enjoy his raucous sense of humor as well. And speaking of raucous senses of humor, let's go and check in with my friend Jazzarus about his expectations for the Diablo 4 expansion, and let's find out just how exactly he always has such cool posters in his streaming background.
Hey guys, Jazzarus here. I am very excited for the Diablo 4 expansion, The Lord of Hatred. I have been playing Diablo 4 since the first beta, which was only to level 25, and I really liked the game a lot at that point, and I shifted my channel to focus on ARPGs because of D4, and I don't know if I would be focusing on Path of Exile 2 right now if it wasn't for Diablo 4. I've always wanted D4 to be good, and I am excited for the expansion because it is bringing out one of the things that I wanted the most, which is the war plans. It is the end game feature to be able to replay your character in the end game and have challenges. I have played almost every season. I have only skipped 2, season 12 because we are getting the expansion, so I wanted to give it a break, and season 7 a long time ago. Outside from that, I have played every single Diablo 4 season. I am going to start with a sorceress, which is my most hated class. Why? Because I spin a wheel to decide my season starter, and the wheel decided that I had to go sorcerers, but I hated. I wanted to go paladin or druid. But dude, I have to go sorcerer, so let's see what happens, bro.
Thank you to Jazzarus for that. And if you want to check in on the classes other than Paladin or Warlock, Jazzarus may be the only streamer on Twitch who isn't playing the new classes. So if you want to see how those frozen fiery hydras and those fiery frozen orbs are going for him, feel free to follow Jazzarus on Twitch and come to my chat afterwards and tell me what his newest poster in the background is. He always has new ones. Now we can hear from another returning player and a close friend of mine in Path of Exile 2 content creation, maybe the only man who could challenge me on a words per minute basis in PoE2 podcasting, TalkativeTri, for his perspective as someone who's coming back after a long break.
Hi, I'm TalkativeTri, and I'm a pretty massive Path of Exile 2 fan, although I've also played a lot of Path of Exile 1. I tried Diablo 4 back on launch, loved the story, but as soon as I hit the endgame, I just dropped from it quickly. And I came back for multiple seasons, and the game never hooked me for more than a couple of hours. However, I'm very excited for the Lord of Hatred expansion for 2 primary reasons. The first, my dad has been playing a lot of Diablo 4, and he actually loves PoE 2 as well, and we've been playing together and talking about it all the time, so I really would like to share this experience with him. And 2, both the new classes look sick, the exact sort of weighty gameplay style I'm looking for. Nothing in the game, when I played last, really exhibited that for me. But the class design of the Warlock and Paladin, excellent. And if I had to choose one to start with, it would be the Paladin.
Thank you to TalkativeTri for that, and I hope that you and your dad are able to enjoy Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred together. And I'll also be curious to hear from you in particular to see if it was able to win you over with its new and reworked endgame systems. Also, I hope that you get well for the sake of your health, brother, but if you're able to stretch out that rasp just a little bit longer, you may get discovered by Book Talk and make a ton of money as a romance novel voice actor. The rasp is working for you a little bit. Let's now check in with MisoxShiru, another Path of Exile 2 player who's returning after a long break, and see what he thinks about the new systems and measure his hype level.
Hey guys, I'm MisoxShiru, and I would definitely call myself an ARPG enjoyer. I've definitely been through the full gamut of them, from like your Grim Dawns to your Diablos, your Path of Exiles, your Wolsons, your Titan Quests, like all of them. I've played pretty much all the RPGs out there, and I love all of them. Now, I would have to say that Path of Exile 2 is my currently most played ARPG, though Diablo 3 was definitely the one to get me started with my love for the genre. As for Diablo 4, I was very excited for it when it first came out, played a ton at the beginning initial release, but kind of fell off, I'd say, in Season 1 with the vampire powers, and kind of didn't really play too much of that until the big item rework where they also introduced the pits. And At that point, I also stopped playing again and am now kind of interested in the new league. I wouldn't say I'm super interested, but at least interested enough with the new skill tree system in particular and some of the endgame reworks that I'm like, yeah, you know what? Path of Exile 2's patch is going to be coming out at the end of May. I got some time. Let's go check it out, and hopefully I have a lot of fun.
Thank you to Miso for submitting a clip for this video, and I'll be interested to hear your takes as you've had a slightly longer break than I have in returning to Diablo 4, so I'll want to hear your takes on the endgame systems when you're able to get to them. Additionally, I strongly recommend subscribing to Miso on YouTube. That man comes out with a new interesting or informative or a new hot take YouTube short every single day. You could calibrate a wristwatch to it. I swear his content creation is so consistent. You may have also, if you're eagle-eyed, noticed a Le Seraphim poster in the background of his stream, and that's because he shares one thing in common with our next guest in being a big K-pop fan. Let's now turn our attention to the other K-pop fan, WesDesu, the tallest man in ARPG content creation, as well as a proud member of the Mercantile class, a true endgame blaster and crafter who's going to tell us about his interests in endgame crafting.
Hey folks, my name is Wes. I go by WesDesu on the internet, and my favorite ARPGs are Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile 1, is where you can typically find me in terms of Twitch categories, but on Lord of Hatred launch, we will be logging in and playing Diablo 4 for the first time since the game launched. When the game launched, I remember there not really being a lot going on with the end game. I was just like confused as to what my objectives were. So since I haven't played the game in a long time, I'm pretty excited to see all the new systems that they have added. Hopefully there's a lot. But I'm most excited to engage with the Horizon Cube. I'm hoping the endgame crafting is cool and fun, and we can make some neat items and make our character really powerful, and kill whatever fresh endgame content there is to kill. So we'll be logging in as either a sorceress or a rogue, whoever wins the coin toss at the day of season start, and we'll see you there. Peace.
Bold of Wes to send me unkeyed green screen footage. I was a lot kinder than I could have been by just putting one of his twice fan cams behind him. And I trust my audience to not use the unkeyed portion to make memes out of my friend Wes and send them to crimsonspeedrunning@gmail.com so I can make fun of him on my stream. Anyhoozle, let's go ahead and talk to my friend Lolcohol, who's a longtime Diablo 2 superfan, as well as a PoE 1 and PoE 2 content creator, about what he's expecting from Diablo 4. Or if he's expecting anything at all.
How's it, everyone? This is Lolcohol. I'm going to be hopping into D4 this week for the new expansion. Been playing ARPGs for about 25 years, and my expectations for this, probably, I'm expecting like a 6 out of 10 for this new expansion. I'm about a 6 out of 10 on the hype levels. What I'm most excited for is going into this pretty much completely blind. I know that there's a couple of new classes, there's a new campaign, but that's it. I don't know what else is in the game, so I'm really looking forward to having that fresh, untarnished ARPG experience where I just go in blind, figure it out on my own, and have fun. So I fully expect it to last maybe a couple of weeks before I burn out, and then the 0.5 for PoE 2 is announced, but I think it's going to be a good time. I'm going to have to wait and see once we're on the other side of this prediction. As for the class I'm starting, probably Paladin, maybe Warlock. I'll probably let chat decide, but I am looking forward to it, but we're gonna have to wait and find out. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for including me, Crimson. I'll catch you on the other side. Take care. Bye-bye.
Should you find yourself in Lolcohol's chat, a good place to find yourself, I should say, I encourage you to vote Paladin, because Lolcohol, having played a lot of Diablo 2 back in the day, will probably feel a good bit of nostalgia, and I want my friend to have that experience. Now let's go ahead and turn our attention to my friend KallTorak, an excellent theory crafter and build creator in Path of Exile 2, who's returning to Diablo 4 for the first time in quite a long time, but also may not have touched base, and so may need some guidance from you guys about how the meta has shifted since its last visit to Estuar and Sanctuary.
Hey guys, I am KallTorak. My experience with ARPGs, I've been playing them since I can remember. I started with Diablo 1, then went into all of the Diablo games. Primarily, I play Path of Exile 2 right now. It is by far my favorite ARPG of all time. My experience with Diablo 4 in particular is I was playing during its beta up until, I think, Season 2. The last season I played was the Vampire season. My hype level for the D4 expansion pack is reasonably high. It seems that the Diablo 4 community at large is absurdly hyped for this expansion. They think a lot of good changes are coming to it, and as someone who hasn't touched the game in a very long time, didn't play the last expansion, I'm sure there's plenty of new changes for me to experience that will be just really fun to enjoy. I get to re-experience the campaign for both expansion packs, so I'm pretty excited. The content and features I'm most excited for in the expansion pack is, funny enough, PvP. My very first YouTube videos on my channel were D4 PvP videos. I really like D4 PvP. I don't know why. I have no idea what the state of it is in, but I plan on hopping on launch day and, grinding to get a good gear set to go to the PvP zone. I plan on playing a Thorns Barbarian, and I do plan on pushing endgame a little bit, but the goal is to get a Juice Thorn set and then to go, make a PvP montage or something.
PvP, huh? I haven't thought about Diablo 4 PvP since I last heard stories from my friend Pan about horrible experiences getting ganked in Diablo 4 Hardcore. Pan is actually one of my closest friends in ARPG content creation, and coming back to Diablo 4 is always a good time to touch base with him. Back when we both were much smaller streamers, we made friends with each other. And now, it's been exciting to see his audience growth on Twitch as one of the people who's most committed to streaming Diablo 4, having reached Paragon 300 in both hardcore and softcore multiple seasons in a row. You can always rely on Pan to be online if you need an extra push, if you need some advice, or if you need a really good druid guide. Let's check in with Pan.
Hey everybody, I'm Pan. Good to see you. Crimson asked me to record a little video here. I mostly do D4. I'm super hype about the launch. I'm going to be mostly playing Warlock to launch. We're going to be starting with that. We've got a couple builds to get going on that with a basic build moving into a Hellfire Swarm build. Beyond that, what I'm looking forward to the most is the skill tree changes. The changes to the skill trees are going to be enormous. They're going to be amazing. Cannot wait for the build variety and the different build craft theories that people are going to come up with. So that's what I'm most excited about. And yeah, hopefully after launch, I can get some Paladin builds going because I'm mostly excited for Paladin in particular myself. But that is what I'm most excited for. Absolutely love the game. Been playing nonstop since I started D4. So love it. Got thousands of hours in. Can't wait to put in another probably 1,000 hours plus into this season, trying to get every class up to over 100 or wherever. Not really sure where everything's going to settle in this season, but going to try and push every class as high as I can. So having a good one and super looking forward to this hype. We got a couple hours to go, and yeah, cannot wait. So hopefully you guys are all as hype as I am to get in to the launch, and I'll see you guys all there.
Thank you for that, Pan. And with that, that's everybody. We'll be back in a couple of days once people have had a chance to try the basic campaign and get their first impressions on the game, as well as in a week or so to get people's longer form reviews. If you're interested in following anybody based on the content that they play or based on their vibe and energy, I encourage you to look in the description down below in order to find people to hang out with on Twitch during the launch. There will be drops active, and supporting these people will be a big deal to help them make ARPG content creation more viable as a lifestyle or as a hobby. For me, I'll be doing a streamathon that I often do for Diablo launches, where I'll be live for my Paragonathon, where if you gift subs or subscribe yourself, you'll be able to make me stay online until I have to achieve higher and higher levels of Paragon. Hopefully, I don't have to go to Paragon 300, but that's up to you guys. See you over on Twitch. Good luck in hell, everybody.